In this video, I'm setting up a massive 4-man ground blind. I want to sit my side by side of that thing. Sharing some tips and tricks. I have that turn, right? And also some thoughts on good deer stand placement. And then on either side, you've got basically a saddle right here. Y'all come with me. So I'm actually gonna put up a 3 to 4 man ground blind, so a big one. So me and Silas and Aiden can all hunt together in it at the same time. So we're here, and this happened. We had a really big snow over the winter. Had about like a foot of snow. It's like very uncommon in Arkansas to have that much snow. I didn't get down here in time to take this down, so that snow just demolished it. Take this up, put in a new one. And I don't know who left that Miller Lite can there. When you're putting out ground blinds, you always want to put them out well before season starts. So right now it's beginning of September. I'm not going to hunt this stand until probably mid-late October. So it'll be here for a solid month and a half before I hunt it. So that's what you always want to do when you do a ground blind. Try to put that thing out well in advance where you're going to hunt. Because I mean, if you're a deer and you see something new in your kitchen or in your living room, which is this is their kitchen, their living room, you're going to notice it, right? So don't want to just put it out and hunt it the next day. I mean, you can, but you're probably not going to do well with it. If you do that, you definitely want to find a spot where you can brush it in. So like, I wouldn't put it like right here in this open spot like that. I would put it more something like this, kind of with a lot of terrain, or not terrain, but a lot of like vegetation around it where you could still hunt it and hopefully not get noticed. But yeah, think about it. This is, if a deer was hunting you and in your house, and you walked into your living room and you saw this big old thing there that never was there before, you'd probably be a little skittish of it, right? You probably wouldn't like that. You'd probably kind of shy away. So that's what deer do. You gotta think about like that. At least that's the way I think about it. That's blind I'm putting out, same as I had before. This is a big one, but made by Tidewee. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce that. All right, so this thing is freaking massive. Look at that. I want to sit my side by side of that thing. Yeah, you definitely putting 4 people in this. Holy crap. Okay, definitely one of those this big. Definitely want to put the sucker out early. Holy crap, that's crazy. All right, let's finish getting this thing put out. Yeah. Oh wow. All right, well, give you an idea. I am 6 feet tall. I can stand up just fine in this thing. This is huge, but you can see what's cool about it. It's the see-through version, right? The old ones always have that ball black like this, you can't see out. This one's got the mesh where nothing can see in, but you can see out. That's pretty cool. Now granted, it looks a lot better on video being able to see out than it does when you're actually in it, like you're with your own eyes. But I mean, you can see out. You can't hunt like this with all this closed up, but you can still see around you, which is pretty cool. I really like these little slide deals for the windows. I need to put these ones here down more. I can pull the top one down a little bit. Now when you're hunting in these things, when you leave it, you want to try to set it up about the same as it would be when you're hunting. Now the good thing about this is you have this back window here. Close this sucker and leave it closed, even when you're hunting in it. Close it, leave it closed, because what's going to happen, deer walks by, it looks into this thing, right? It won't be able to see through. So when you're in it, you're not going to be as noticeable because you got this black backdrop to you, Now obviously you want to close the door, but when you're leaving it and you're not in it, leave it pretty much how you're going to hunt out of it. you probably want to have your windows closed, leave them open a little bit. So that way when they come by, when you're not here, that looks the same. Okay, you always want it to be looking very much the same as when you're hunting, when you're not hunting it, as when you're hunting it. But I'll always want to make sure when a deer is looking into it, it can't see something new in the way. Like if you have these windows wide open, right? And this one's wide open. And they walk in, they walk past it, and usually they can see through it to the other side, no problem. When you're in it, all of a sudden your head's there. And all of a sudden they can't see through it anymore. Something's there. They're going to notice that every time. So you want to make sure, really the only good way you got this is your shots are going to be out the front. And you can kind of, typically what I'll do is I'll open these up on the corners like that. And then when you're sitting in here, you still have that shot. Now I'll take these down a little bit more, but you can still have that shot out this way, shot out that way, and obviously straight out the front. But the biggest thing is you want to make sure you leave it pretty much the same way you're going to hunt out of it. You'll probably open it up a little bit more when you're hunting it up, but your shots are going to be right out the front. I mean, I'm right-handed, so the likelihood of me being able to, maybe this thing's so massive, I might be able to now, get up and turn around and shoot like this, they're going to spot you. I mean, you might be able to do that. Or, I can shoot left-handed too, but it's not my preferred method. But being right-handed, this one I'm going to have open a little bit more. Because I have that turn, right? So just keep things like that in mind when you're setting these things up. It's not just set it up and walk away and leave it all closed up. And you got to there's some thought process to it. Now looking at this from a deer's perspective, they're going to notice this big sucker. I mean, that side by side, that's a Pioneer 1000. It can hold 5 people. It's big. It's real big. Look at the size of that thing compared to that side by side. It's crazy how big that thing is. But again, it's made for 4 people, so that'd be cool. The 3 of us, me and my 2 kids, should be able to get in here and have plenty of room to move around. They can move. They can, that's the biggest thing about hunting out of ground blind, is you got so much more mobility inside the blind. So you can move around. You can move your feet. You can't be loud. Obviously, they can still hear you. You're not just sitting there having to be just strictly frozen like this all the time. And when you got kids, these are money when you're hunting with kids, because they can bring you're hunting with kids, if you never have, they're not going to be able to sit there for 6 hours, 2 hours, 5 hours, just sitting staring straight out the window like you can, right? Or like I can. Even I get bored, right? I mean, it just happens. Everybody gets bored. Let them bring a little device. Like my daughter, she's got a she's got her iPhone. She'll, bring her earbuds and she'll watch a movie. When she starts getting bored, watch a movie. It's fun. But the thing is, when you're hunting with kids, hunting out of a ground blind, is you want them to enjoy the experience. Because if they don't enjoy it, they're not going to want to do it. And that's the whole point of getting kids to get into the outdoors, get into hunting and fishing and stuff like that. They've got to want to do it. If they don't want to do it, they're not. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to stake down the 4 corners, find the rope. There should be some rope in here somewhere. And then tie each thing down. So I'm going to tie them off to the rock, or tie them off to this tree right here. And then I'll put rocks on each corner on top of the stakes. This way to keep this sucker nice and tied down. If it's going to get windy, you don't want to have it blow away. I mean, this thing costs about 150 bucks. Throw that away because you're too lazy to make sure it's real nice and tied down. So always double, triple check. Make sure it's good and tight. So it comes a little satchel here. It's got all your pins and your rope in it. Plenty of stakes, plenty of rope. Yeah. Now I don't typically, some people will put these stakes in the ground and then they'll tie the rope off to it for these pieces right here. That right there, that thing right there. You're going to want to tie a rope down off to that. I tie them off to rocks. I don't want to use these unless I absolutely have to. I'll typically just use them to stake down the corners where you can. And if I have to, I will, but usually I try to use rocks to tie them down to. Also, bring a hammer. Get your rock, if they're available. Rock them corners down too. All right, I'm gonna do that for all the rest other 4. Then you're gonna take your little black ropes they come with, tie off each corner or each side. Now I'm tying this rope like this, like to pull around a tree. if you can, take it over the top of the line you pull the crap, keep it tight, and pull it back to you like that. Keep that tension on it, because if you just try to wrap it right there, it's going to stay loose. Man, I know you couldn't really see any of that, but you know, one man show it, how much you can do. There, right there. So I took this main line right here, wrapped around the back side of the tree, right? Took it over the top of this, pulled it back, and then I wrapped it a couple times around the main line around the tree, pulled it tight, and then I just, what was left over, looped it and just made a little square knot on top. That'll probably get a little bit loose, but it's not gonna go flying away. That's what you're trying to do. Now there's my little knot lesson, so now I'm gonna tie the rest of the stuff off. Got her all tied down, staked in. Behemoth. I'll put my chair in there and kind of get set up how I want to. Then we're going to put up a couple of deer feeders and a camera, and we'll leave it alone. You can only put out feed when it's legal in your area. I don't know. I'm in Arkansas. It is legal to put out bait or feed on private land. This being a lease, it's private. If this was public land, like an Ozark National Forest, something like that, then no, absolutely illegal to bait on public land. So just make sure you keep that in mind when you're doing this stuff. Check your regulations. You're putting out a deer feeder, you gotta think of how tall a deer is, right? Can't put up real high. You gotta reach up to it. You know, deer's only about, you know, top of their head, you know, probably about waist high, you know, 3 feet tall maybe. They're a little taller than that, the bigger bucks, but you know, they might be more here. But what you're doing when you're putting out feed, now granted, bucks will come eat it, but what you're doing when you're putting out this feed is you want to draw the does into you. You draw the does in, the bucks are going to follow. That simple. Bucks will eat it, but the whole point is getting the does in here, getting them active, and them staying in here, and then when the rut hits, the bucks are going to be here moving around trying to find the does too. So that's really the purpose of it. I just typically use corn. I like to buy the apple flavored deer corn, just because it's got that apple scent. They're going to smell that, you know, a mile away. Not that they won't smell the regular corn, but this seems like they just draw them in a lot easier, the apple corn. Fill her up and put the cap on, and hope like hell the bears and pigs don't tear it up. Do that correctly. That's all there is to it. I'll do another one. This feeder's been hanging here. I'm going to kick the crap out of it just so there's not a wasp nest. I'm terrified of wasps. I'm not terrified, like, oh my god, I'm gonna run away, but like, I don't like being stung by them, man, they hurt. Now, something got to gnaw on this thing. Something with some teeth. Likely, potentially a bear, maybe a raccoon. But either way, fill the sucker up, put out a camera, and I'm out of here. Alright, so last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put out a game camera. Put it on this little pine tree right here, face it toward the feeders, and see what's coming in and out here. Hopefully get me a target buck by the time muzzleload starts. Alright, so got my camera set up. You got it facing back toward our feeders. Just turn it on and leave. Now this one is not, this has got an SD card in it. They make ones now that you can connect like cell service, and you can like see it from your phone like almost in real time. But there is no cell service down here at all, so I do not have that. But just so you know, that is an option. Just not here. All right, so last bit of advice when it comes to setting in a ground blind or just finding a deer stand in general. The reason why I like this spot, obviously I know it produces, but before I've ever determined that it did, you want to look at terrain, right? So this is a nice big open lane, right? all the way down in the middle of essentially a pine thicket. It's not that thick, but it's essentially a pine thicket. So you got a nice big opening, good shooting lane. The stand itself, it's up on a bit of a little high ground right there. Slopes off, and then on either side, you've got basically a saddle right here. And what a saddle is when you have a spot between two lower levels, right? So you've got a thicket out there, drops off. They can come up over the top, come right through, and drop off into this other one right here. So it's essentially a little bit of an avenue for them to come out of one to go into the other, right? That's why I picked this spot initially, was because of the terrain feature of it. But deer do that. They'll come from that way behind you. They'll come from straight ahead this way. They'll come like back and forth this way. They come from all different directions here. So a lot of times terrain might not dictate it. If you just think it looks like a good spot, really the best way to do it, if you think it's going to be a good spot, but you don't want to take the effort putting up the stand and everything, put you a feeder out, put a camera on it. Or if you're on public land and you think it's a good terrain feature that deer are going to use, just put you a game trail camera on it, and just see if anything comes through, you know, so before you put all the extra effort in there. But if you're on private land and you like to bait, put you a feeder, put you a camera on it, and see what comes through. Thanks for watching. If you want to watch more videos from the Forests and Fairways YouTube channel, be sure to check out our playlists for outdoor adventures, golf, and wild game cooking videos, all on the Forests and Fairways YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications. And thanks for watching.